A warm welcome to TV Africa News and thank you for always joining us. This is Africa Today. My name is Najma Lima, but first are the headlines. General Salim Saleh opens third investment symposium in Barada. Security bans open air selling of knives, pangas, and sharp objects. Kenya joins other countries to condemn Russian move into Ukraine. And in sports, Iganga Young win a shootout over Tepak progress to round of 16. A warm welcome once again now the news in detail. General Salim Saleh has officially opened the third investment symposium in Barada City on Tuesday. The symposium, organized by Uganda Development Bank Limited in partnership with Operation Wealth Creation in Barada City, is running under the theme, the contribution of financial innovation to the resilience of the economy for sustained growth. We have more. The two-day event taking place at Kacheka Stadium started on Monday, February 21st and will run until Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. It seeks to identify business opportunities in the region, host business-to-business engagements, and convene leading local and national leaders on the question of financing for recovery and growth. Participants are drawn from political, business, academic, and civil society leadership from the 13 districts making up Ankole sub-region. They will share success experiences, identify business opportunities, share entrepreneurial linkages that can build a sustainable entrepreneurial ecosystem in the sub-region. The event has been graced by speakers including Trade Permanent Secretary Ms. Geraldine Sali, Uganda Development Bank's Managing Director Patricia Ojangole, Mbarara North MP Robert Mwesigwa Rukari, among others. The organizers say that at the end of the symposium, viable actions should emerge on how to put Ankole on a sustainable path to a vibrant economy that is a crucial part of the regional and national economy. The inaugural Uganda Investment Symposium was launched in 2019 in West Nile sub-region, and a subsequent one was held in Rwenzori sub-region. Kawempe North MP Mohamed Segilinya's mother appeared at Parliament to protest the continued detention of her son. Christine Sanyu Nakajumba appeared outside the precincts of Parliament wailing about the fate of her son. Nalugo has more.
Kawempe North Member of Parliament Mohamed Segilinya's mother, Nakajumba, said she had now spent more 2 months without being able to see her son, who was arrested in September 2021. Segirinya stands accused of being behind the killings in Greater Masaka region that claimed close to 30 lives. He is accused with fellow Machinjo West legislator Alan Sewanyana. The pair have repeatedly applied for bail unsuccessfully. A distraught Nakajumba made her appeal for the release of her son to the Deputy Speaker of Parliament Anita Mong and the First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni. Before police could swoop into the arrest of Segilinya's mother, Parliament Director of Communication Chris Obore and Democratic Party President Norbert Mao intervened. The two men condoled with Nakajumba, assuring her that all is being done to ensure the speedy release of her son, who has claimed to be unwell in custody. Obore and Mao then led the National Unity Platform Member of Parliament's mother into the House to further discuss the matter away from public stares. Nakajumba's protest about Segilinya's detention comes at a time when the Director of Public Prosecutions told Masaka Chief Magistrates Court that enough evidence has been gathered to pin the suspects on 4 counts of murder, 2 of attempted murder, terrorism and abetting terrorism.
The joint security agencies have banned the selling and vending of raw weapons as stroke tools like hoes, pangas, knives and other sharp objects on the streets by vendors and hawkers. Kachancho reports.
According to police spokesperson Fred Enanga, they have further issued directives to all territorial commanders to confiscate any sharp object sold on streets because of its contribution to crime and impacts on public safety and security. Enanga said that the directive is effective immediately. According to the police mouthpiece, the directive aims to help security in their efforts to reduce crimes across the country. police believes selling sharp objects in the open means that such objects can be accessed easily by criminals. Enanga said that they believe that the confiscation of such tools will help mitigate the risks of safety and security in our neighborhood and among motorists and other road users. He added that the enforcement of the laws governing vendors is the sole responsibility of the Kampala Capital City Authority, but the police will work with KCCA to ensure and promote a healthy, safe and secure environment on our major roads.
Let's take a quick break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, The Right to Know. Kenya's ambassador to the UN Security Council said it was gravely concerned with recent Russia's announcement. Kenyan Ambassador Martin Chimani drew parallels to African history and spoke about nations in Africa that had their borders drawn by distant colonial powers.
Kenyan Ambassador Martin Chimani said that Kenya is gravely concerned by the announcement made by the Russian Federation to recognize Donetsk and Luhansk regions of Ukraine as independent states. Ambassador Chimani added that in their considered view, this action and announcement breach the territorial integrity of Ukraine. Putin's directive came hours after he recognized two separatist regions in Ukraine in a rambling fact-bending discourse on European history. The move paved the way to support military support. Kenyan Ambassador Martin Chimani drew parallels to African history and spoke about nations in Africa that had their borders drawn by distant colonial powers. A vaguely worded decree signed by Putin did not say if troops were on the move, and it cast the order as an effort to maintain peace. The move paved the way to provide them military support, antagonizing Western leaders who regard it as a breach of world order, and set off a frenzied scramble by the US and others to respond.
Moving on, the United States and Egypt on Monday launched a joint work group to prepare for the next UN Climate Change Summit, which the Middle Eastern country will host in November, according to the American Envoy for Climate. We have more on this story. While speaking at a news conference in Cairo along with Egyptian Foreign Minister Sami Shoukry, the U.S. envoy John Kerry said that the group's main task is working on the COP27 conference in Egypt's Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. He said Egypt has already taken many steps in the preparation for the summit. Kerry added that other world tensions, including the ongoing Ukraine crisis, does not change the reality of what is happening every day with respect to climate, which is a national and international threat for all of us. Kerry, who landed in the Egyptian capital on Sunday, is also scheduled to speak at the American University in Cairo on the future of international climate action in the lead up to COP27, according to the State Department. The American envoy said that US was also working with the Egyptian government on its own transition to have a clean energy future. In June, Kerry announced an increase in the U.S. funding to help Egypt convert to solar energy and move away from fossil fuels, a major source of energy in the country of over 100 million people. In recent years, the government of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has taken steps to convert to renewables, seizing advantage of the country's optimal solar and wind conditions for energy harvesting. Away from that, Moroccan Economy and Industry Minister Riyad Mazouz signed a deal with her Israel counterpart Ona Babivai to bolster trade and investment cooperation between the two countries. The current level of commercial exchange between the North African Kingdom and Israel amounts at $13 million. The two nations are seeking to quadruple this annual trade.
According to Riyad Mezur, the meeting with the Economy and Industry Minister of Israel, Ona Babivai, is part of the implementation of the joint declaration signed on December 22, 2022 in Rabat. The two countries demonstrated their desire to promote a dynamic and innovative bilateral economic cooperation in the fields of trade, finance and investment, as well as innovation and technology. The agreements will deepen the partnership between the countries' private sectors and allow for the exchange of expertise in the field of innovation. Moroccan minister also pointed to sectors with strong investment potential, including agribusiness, automotives, or renewable energy. Babivai said the agreement signed was only beginning, adding that Israel recognizes Morocco's strategic geopolitical ability with Africa and Europe, and they have no doubt that the cooperation in this matter will open markets to industrial export and import in any aspect. More agreements over taxation and customs cooperations are still under negotiation between Morocco and Israel.
4 French soldiers escorting a UN force general were arrested on Monday at Bangui Airport, immediately triggering accusations of an assassination attempt on the Central African president on social networks. Paris and the UN mission in the country have described the accusations as gross manipulation. We have more.
The 4 French soldiers were still in premises of the Gendarmerie in the evening, according to an official of the French military staff in Paris, adding that the problem is being resolved at this stage with no concern. The embassy said in a statement on its Twitter and Facebook accounts that the close protection team of General Stéphane Machenoir, Chief of Staff of the Force of the United Nations Mission in Central African Republic, composed of 4 French soldiers, was arrested that afternoon at Bangui Airport while escorting the general who was to fly to Paris. Many private accounts were then spread on social networks in accusations against the French military, claiming in particular that they had wanted to assassinate the Central African president Faustin Archange Touadéra, with many photos of the alleged vehicle and weapons seized during their arrest. This incident comes at a time when relations between France and its former colony are increasingly tense, exacerbated by a fierce war of influence between Paris and Moscow in this country in civil war since 2013. Moscow blames Paris for accusing the Russian private security company Wagner of having seized the power and resources in the country.
Let's once again take a break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, The Right to Know. In our business news today, President Macky Sall hosted his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Monday on an official state visit, accompanied by a large business delegation where trade was on the agenda of the leaders' discussion.
During the Senegal-Turkey Business Forum in Dhaka, both presidents celebrated their cooperation stemming back in 2018, where they had agreed on a $400 million trade volume, an objective that was accomplished. President Sall said that he was satisfied with the political relations and economic cooperation between Turkey and Senegal. He added that these were long-standing relations with a solid and diversified legal framework that touch on areas as varied as political consultations, infrastructure, energy, agriculture, education, water, transport, environment, industry, trade, culture, and defense. The president said that their bilateral trade volume in 2021 increased by 42% compared to the previous year and exceeded $540 million, adding that their goal is for that figure to reach $1 billion. As Turkish president's visit drew to an end, Senegal and Turkey signed 5 new agreements, including one on security. Following his visit to DRC and Senegal, Erdogan will head to Guinea-Bissau on Thursday.
In our health news today, tourists from several destinations are returning to Zanzibar after a prolonged period due to COVID-19. Travel disruptions will soon be a thing of the past following the introduction of EDE technology by the local government. This is a new scanning method that can detect COVID-19 virus in the body, the first in Africa.
Hussein Mwinyi, the president of Zanzibar, said that when it comes to conducting COVID-19 tests, there has always been a lot of problems where all were really invasive, adding that with the first non-invasive test and the first of its kind in Africa is a huge success for Zanzibar. This non-invasive age technology has tested nearly 20,000 people with 93% accuracy even before its launch at Zanzibar International Airport. Muhammad Gulrez, the project manager of the age scanner, said that age, which stands for exponential de-examination, uses the electromagnetic rays that comes from the human being, and they can capture every sign of change that pulls towards COVID-19 virus by scanning the person either positive or negative. He added that it's an effective technology because they have already done several studies and several tests, and more than 20,000 people have already been tested by this new technology, and results have been compared with PCR, and it's 93% reliable. A relief for travelers who can do without PCR tests and targets scanned even 2 hours before their flight. Despite the fact that the local government acknowledges that Zanzibar has not had a positive case since January 2020, caution is still required to resume normal travels. The objective remains to facilitate air transit and revive tourism in healthy space away from COVID-19. This technology will be deployed in other African countries in the coming days.
And finally, in our sports news today, Iganga young goalkeeper Joash Gubi was the hero, saving one shot from Tepa as the visitors qualified to the Uganda Cup round of 16. Kachanchu has more.
Eastern Regional side Iganga Young ejected Northeast Tepa 4-3 in post-match penalties during the round of 32 clash in the Stanbic Uganda Cup at the Ngora Playground. Normal time of this clash ended goalless before the shootout. Suleiman Kisubi, Sande Joffrey, Nyandwi Olobo, Arafat Katundu and Jamilu Mukungu Mangala scored the goal for Iganga Young in the shootout. Iganga Young goalkeeper Joash Gubi was the hero, saving one shot from Tepa. Meanwhile, Ndeje University eliminated Ruero United 3-4 in the post-match shootout after a 1-all draw in normal time. Brian Sally gave Ndeje University the half-time lead with a strike on 35 minutes. Derek Mudali replied for the home side in the 53rd minute. During the tense penalty shootout, both sides missed their respective first kicks. Ndeje University held their nerves to win 4-2 and book a berth at the round of 16. Mbali Heroes overcame Kampala third tier side NFC 1-0 at the San Siro Playground in Mbali City.
That was the news. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. Please do stay tuned. More programming coming your way.